You were born in a poor village far from the imperial capital. Your father works the fields, but the harvest barely feeds your family. You grow up hearing stories about the emperor living behind walls no ordinary person can enter. You never imagine those walls will one day become your home. Then your family falls deeper into debt after several bad harvests. A palace recruiter arrives in the village looking for boys willing to enter imperial service. He offers food, clothing, and a future inside the palace. The offer sounds like salvation until you learn what the service requires. To become a palace eunuch, you must give up the ability to father children. Your family faces an impossible choice between poverty and a future that will change your body forever. You are still a boy when the decision is made for you. Before we continue, like this video and subscribe for more immersive journeys through history. The morning you leave home, your mother cannot stop crying. Your father avoids looking directly at you. You carry a small cloth bundle containing everything you are allowed to take. The road to the capital feels longer with every step. When you finally see the imperial walls, they look impossibly high. Guards stand at the gates wearing uniforms far finer than anything you have ever owned. You enter through a narrow service entrance rather than the grand gates used by officials. Inside, another world waits behind layers of walls and courtyards. You are taken to a quiet room where palace attendants explain your new life. Your old name is recorded beside dozens of other boys entering the household. You quickly learn that the palace is not one building. It is a vast network of courtyards, halls, workshops, gardens, kitchens, and private quarters. You are assigned to a junior eunuch who will teach you how to survive there. He tells you that mistakes inside the palace can bring punishment. He also tells you that knowing when to stay silent can keep you alive. Your first task is simple. You must learn the palace routes without getting lost. The corridors seem identical, but each one leads to a different world. One door leads toward the emperor's quarters. Another leads toward the women's palace. A third opens into a workshop where silk garments are prepared. You are warned never to enter restricted rooms without permission. Your uniform marks you as someone who belongs inside these walls. It also reminds everyone that you are not free to come and go as you please. Before sunrise, bells signal the beginning of another day. You wash quickly and straighten your simple palace clothing. The first duty is carrying messages between servants and senior eunuchs. You move through courtyards while the palace slowly wakes. The kitchens are already filled with steam and the smell of rice. Servants prepare elaborate meals that you will never eat yourself. You deliver a sealed message to a senior attendant and wait with your eyes lowered. A single mistake in the wording could send you back for punishment. You learn to speak carefully because palace walls seem to have ears. By midday, you are assigned to help prepare an imperial chamber. You sweep the floor, replace lamps, and arrange objects exactly as instructed. Nothing can be moved simply because you think it looks better. Every object has its place, and every place has a reason. You begin to understand that palace life is built around rules ordinary people never see. A senior eunuch notices your speed and gives you more responsibility. He teaches you how to announce yourself before entering a room. He teaches you how to bow without raising your eyes too high. He teaches you which names must never be spoken casually. He also teaches you that information can be more valuable than gold. By evening, you have already heard 3 conversations you were never supposed to remember. You say nothing about them. Silence becomes your first real skill inside the palace. That night, you are given a narrow sleeping space shared with other junior attendants. You lie awake listening to footsteps moving through the corridor. You think about your mother's face when you left home. You wonder whether she has received the first payment promised by the recruiter. You also wonder whether your family can finally afford enough food. The thought gives you a strange mixture of relief and guilt. In the morning, a senior eunuch tells you that palace life can reward patience. He says some men rise through the ranks and become trusted attendants. Others spend decades performing the same small duties without recognition. You cannot yet imagine which future belongs to you. You only know that returning home is no longer simple. You finish your first week knowing more palace rules than you knew rules of your own village. You have learned where to stand, when to bow, and which doors must remain closed. Most importantly, you have learned that the palace rewards people who understand its invisible boundaries. Tomorrow, you will be trusted with a task closer to the imperial household. For now, you close your eyes and try to sleep. The palace is already preparing your next assignment. Years pass, and the boy who entered the palace becomes a seasoned eunuch. You no longer get lost in the endless courtyards. You can cross the palace before most servants realize you have passed. Your uniform is cleaner now, and your duties have become more important. You are trusted to carry messages closer to the imperial family. Sometimes you stand outside a private chamber, while powerful officials wait for permission to enter. You begin to understand why access to the emperor can be more valuable than an official title. You know which ministers are visiting. You know which imperial relatives are arguing. You know when an order has been issued before it reaches the outer bureaucracy. The palace has turned you into a living bridge between people who rarely meet face to face. That access can make a eunuch powerful. It can also make him dangerous in the eyes of everyone around him. Court officials often distrust eunuchs because they fear their influence over the emperor. You learn that some eunuchs survive by staying invisible. Others become wealthy by building networks of loyal servants and patrons. A few rise so high that officials begin treating them like political rivals. One famous Ming eunuch, Wei Zhongxian, eventually became powerful enough to dominate court politics before his downfall. His story shows how far a eunuch could rise inside the imperial system. But for every powerful eunuch, thousands remained ordinary palace workers. Most spent their lives cleaning rooms, guarding doors, carrying messages, serving food, or managing household tasks. Their days were repetitive, and their names rarely reached historical records. You begin to notice another reality as well. The palace can provide food and status, but it can also feel like a beautiful prison. You cannot simply decide to leave whenever you want. Your movements are controlled by regulations and by the hierarchy above you. Some eunuchs eventually escape despite the risks. Their stories reveal how unbearable palace service could become for some men. One night, you hear that a fellow eunuch has disappeared. Nobody speaks about it openly. The next morning, his sleeping space has already been cleared. You realize the palace can erase a person almost as quickly as it can promote one. You become even more careful after that. Years later, you are promoted to supervise younger eunuchs entering the palace. Now you stand where your first mentor once stood. A frightened boy arrives carrying the same small cloth bundle you once carried. He looks at you with the same fear you remember from your first day. You explain the rules without frightening him more than necessary. You tell him to watch his steps and listen before speaking. You recognize yourself in his nervous expression. For the first time, you understand how much of your life has disappeared inside these walls. You have served emperors, princes, consorts, and generations of palace officials. You have witnessed celebrations that filled entire courtyards with music. You have also watched men lose their positions overnight after falling from favor. The palace has taught you that power can change direction without warning. A person can be important today and forgotten tomorrow. Your greatest protection is still the same skill you learned as a boy. Know what to say and know what to keep silent. As old age approaches, your duties become lighter. Younger eunuchs carry the heavy objects that once filled your hands. You spend more time sitting beside quiet courtyards and watching palace life continue without you. Sometimes you think about the village where you were born. You wonder whether anyone there still remembers the boy who left with a cloth bundle. You never married and never raised children of your own. The palace gave you a position, but it also took away a future you can never recover. Still, your life was not completely empty. You helped maintain a world that supported an enormous imperial household. You carried messages that changed decisions and served people whose names would become part of history. Yet, history usually remembers the emperor before it remembers the person who opened his door. Near the end of your life, you walk through the same courtyard where you once arrived as a frightened boy. The walls look smaller now because you have spent decades beside them. The palace is still beautiful. It is still powerful. It is still not yours. You stop beneath a quiet roof and listen to the distant sound of footsteps. Another young eunuch passes, carrying a message toward the inner court. You watch him disappear around the corner. For a moment, you see yourself again. You realize that the palace never needed to remember your name to depend on your work. Your story is one of thousands that existed behind the emperor's walls. And when your footsteps finally disappear, the palace will continue as though you were never there. The boy never notices you watching him from the courtyard. You wonder what kind of life he will have inside these walls. You hope someone teaches him the same lesson your mentor taught you. You turn away and continue your slow walk toward the outer courtyard. Records from the Qing dynasty preserve cases of palace eunuchs repeatedly running away, with captured eunuchs describing palace service as restrictive and oppressive.